Welcome to Javaism, and in this video we're going to talk about synchronized keyword and synchronized block. So basically this synchronized keyword is very important. Okay, so let's discuss about it. What is exactly synchronized keyword in Java and how we can use it. So in Java, synchronization is used to make sure by some of the synchronization method that only one thread can access the resources at the given point in a time. So basically this is the one of the way to make our method as a thread set, so that one by one thread can able to access it. Okay, Java provides a way of creating a threads and synchronizing their task using the synchronization block. Okay, so we can use the synchronization block also. So we can see like how we can use the synchronization method, how we can use the synchronization block also. A synchronization block in Java is synchronized on some object. Okay, and all synchronized block synchronized on the same object and can only have one thread executed inside them at a time. All the other threads attempting to enter to the synchronization block are blocked until the thread inside the synchronized block exit to the block. So it means that we have a one resources and one thread is executing those resources. So until those thread will not complete the executions, the other thread will not enter inside this. So that is good for the thread set. The synchronization is mainly used for the two-way, okay, to prevent the thread interface. So like so many times we are getting some thread exceptions, so it will prevent it. Okay, and to prevent the consistency problems we can use the thread. Okay, so it will also work for the consistency. So consistency means like for example, you have some data and multiple people are trying to access those data, and maybe the data will become null and everyone gets some of the data. So that is wrong way. Okay, so like that we can simplify it and we can do the work on that. There are two types of the synchronizations. One is process synchronization and the other one is thread synchronizations. Okay, let me explain with one example. Okay, so that you can understand what is exactly thread. Okay, let me open the paint. Okay, so this is our paint is open. Let me create one resources. For example, let's assume like this is your bank. This is your bank. Okay, and we have a multiple ATM also. Okay, so this is the one ATM. This is the one ATM. This is another ATM. Okay, I will write here ATM 1, ATM 2, ATM 3. Okay, ATM 1, ATM 2 and ATM 3. Okay, and for example, all those ATM we have a one bank, and in this bank we have a one merchant account. So in the one bank account having a multiple peoples are added. Okay, so we can say like multiple peoples means we have a. So A is one peoples which is having in merchant account. B is another people's, okay, and one more C is another people's here. Okay, so three peoples are having the same account, and in the bank account having a 5,000 rupees. Okay, in that particular account. Okay, only having a 5,000 rupees. A is going to the ATM number 1. He have a also card. He is going to the ATM number 1. He is going to the ATM number 2. He is going to the ATM number 3. And all ATM, you know, it's connected with the bank only. Okay, so those things are clear, I hope. And the peoples are trying to retrieve the amount at the same time. So for example, A also put the card, B also put the card, and C also put the card in the ATM. And all are operating the three ATMs and try to face the amount 5,000. Okay, so if for example, A is swept the 5,000 rupees, okay, and he swept this amount. So he got 5,000. Also, he is also sweeping 5,000. He also sweeping 5,000. So first time maybe he got 5,000. Okay. So and also he got 5,000. He also got 5,000. So amount is only 5,000, and we have fetched how many amount? We have fetched how many amount? 15,000 amount. So that is not good. So that is called a data inconsistency problem. That is called data inconsistency problem because we have amount only 5,000 and we are sending the amount in the three places. That is wrong. Once people are debited the amount, the amount should be here, it will become 0. so that if other people's like B and C are tried to retrieve the amount, he also got one message called balance is insufficient. That is the good coding we can say. Okay, so here also we can say we are using the multi-threading. And while using multi-threading, we have used in the bank method, which is withdrawal method, we have added one synchronized keyword, so that if one people are trying to access this bank amount, other people will wait until he not finish A. Once one is finished, then only he can enter and he can see the amount is 0, and then after he will see the output like insufficient amount, B also see, C also see insufficient amount. But if you not use the synchronized, what will happen? Everybody got 5,000, bank will get cropped. Okay, so that is the one issue. So because of that issue, in the multi-threaded environment, we are trying to put some of the places which is required to handle those things for the like multi-threading in the way, so that we cannot get data inconsistency. I hope you understood. Okay, let's go and understand like there are two types of the synchronization. One we can do with the process synchronization, and another one we can do with the thread synchronization. So process synchronization means one by one with the help of the process, and thread means internally we can create multiple thread and we can do work on that. Okay, let's take one example and try to understand how we can use synchronized keyword and what we call the synchronized block. Okay, so this is our Eclipse I have opened. Let me create one more package. Okay, so I will create a class only. So I'm going to create one class called count, okay, which will count some of the amount, okay, or maybe the counting number. So count, count, let's take the count, and I will give here the package called com.synchronize, synch, synchronize, enter. Okay, so I have created one package. Inside the package I will close this package, okay, and inside this package I have created one simple class which is called count. Let me close this. This is the count class I have created. Inside the count I am going to create one methods, okay, which is the public, okay, public's void count. Let's take count only, and inside the count I will pass one value which is something like anything the people will pass, and here what I will do is I will use one loop, okay, and I will multiply those number with the 10 and I will print it. Okay, so for example this is the loop. I don't want those loop. Let me take another loop which is based on the index, and here I will do at 100 times or 10 times or 5 times you can do. So let me check the 5 times only, which is I, and it will start with 1. Okay, let me give 1. Okay, it's not responding my ID, sometimes it's happened, so you have to do in the patience, nothing else. Okay, so int I equal to 1, I less than equal to 5, so it will iterate up to 5 times, and I plus plus. So what I will do is whatever the I it's given, I will write one s out, and in the s out I will what I will do is I will multiply I with our n value, and I will print. That's all, nothing else. Let me make it formatable. Okay, so this is the class we have created. Let me create one more class. Okay, I can create here also, I can create in some other classes also, that is fine. So let me create one more class. Okay, so I will going to create some thread. Okay, now I am going to create some of the thread. So let me take no, I don't want to create it. Let me create 2 threads. Okay, otherwise what can I do is I can write synchronization test. Okay, so let me, this make method is not public. Okay, so this is the only count methods, and here I am going to write some of the class which is thread. So I will going to write 2 threads. So I will give the name called my thread 1, and this class is open. Inside this class I will create a variables of count. So I will write here count. Okay, so count I will give the C, okay, semicolons, and then after I will create one constructor which is public my thread, okay, and my thread, and I will give the parameters called whatever the parameters it will pass, which is count only. So count C, and here I will write this dot count, this dot C equal to C. I hope you understood. So this is the constructor I have created, and inside the constructor only I will create one run methods. Okay, so public, okay, publics, and I will create one run method. So how can I create a run method? So while creating a run methods, we can use some standard coding. Okay, so while creating a run methods, we can take the help of the thread class. So I am going to create this thread. So we have to mandatory to extend the thread class. Okay, so once you extend the thread, and here you can write a void run methods. Okay, so automatically it will call when we create the thread, and we call it the start methods. So once you call this, okay, this method, once you create the object of the thread class and you can initialize it, and now we can what we can do is we can call this object. Okay, so here from here what I will do is I will do one thing. I will call these methods, okay, count methods. Inside the run method I will call the count method. You have to be careful and see each and everything. Okay, so how can I count method? So C dot, okay, because I have already object reference, so C dot count. So this is the object is already initialized, so I can call it C dot count count method, and here I will pass something value called 10. Okay, 10, or you can pass here 5 also. Okay, or you can pass here 1 also. No issue. Okay, if you pass here 1, it will multiply 1 with 1, which is 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, so that is fine. So that is the run method we have created, and also you can write here override, because in the thread class this method is already available, so you can override it also. Okay, so this is the one thread we have created, but with the help of this thread, whenever we are creating the object of the thread, we are calling indirectly this method, which is count method only. Next year, and I am going to create one more thread, so just copy those code and paste here, change the name of the thread name. So I will give here 2, and here I will replace also 2. Thread is same, method is same, and now here I will pass 10. Okay, in the here I will pass 1, but here I will pass 10. That is the only difference. Okay, and finally I will create one class called public. Okay, and synchronize test. Okay, and I will give the public class and class name synchronized test, and this is created. Let me change. Okay, because we have created this class with the help of the count, but I don't want count, so I have to rename it this file name, because whenever we have available main method, those method only we can consider it. So let me rename it. So now it will become synchronized count, next, and finish. Okay, so this method is only become a synchronized, but I don't want this synchronized. Okay, this method I want count only, and this method I want synchronize, and this having a one method called count. Okay, let me save first. If I save it, let me see why I'm getting some error. So this is the count methods. Created the count in the type synchronized test. Okay. So this one is also wrong. So here we have to write the count. Here also we have to write proper count, and here also we have to write proper count. Now it's will fine. Okay, again, what are the issues? So maybe it's taking the parameters which is count. So maybe you confuse, guys, but don't confuse. It's just I have renamed the name, and again I am changing all those names. If you see clearly, it will look good. Okay, so what I have done is, this is the class which we have already created, and inside the class I have maintained like public void count int n, and this is the we have printed with the n multiply n based on the n we have passed. And here I have created one thread, my thread 1. Here I have created the variables of above class count C, and with the help of the thread only we are initializing this one. And then after we are creating one run method inside the thread, we have to create, because we have to execute the thread. And another thread one more I have created, and same thing I have given one constructor, and then after one methods. Here I have passed 10, here I have passed 1, and finally we have created one public class synchronized test, and inside this I am going to write a main method. Okay, that's it. I have I hope you understood. Okay, and this is the things. Okay, let me do one thing. So as of now, I hope you understood. Now I'm going to create, okay, thread object. So how can I create thread object? Thread, yeah, my thread one, yeah, T1 you can say, equal to new thread, and new my thread. But if you see here, we have to pass the count object here. So before going to pass anything, we can create one count object. So count c equal to new count. Okay. So I have created the object for the count, and now I will pass here c. Okay. So one thread is created. I will create one more thread. Control Shift arrow down, and here you can write 2 thread 2, and here also I will write thread 2. So for thread 2 also we have created the object and we have passed the same thing. So if you see it saying like change type to T2, okay, my thread, yes, yeah, that is fine. So this is the my thread 2, T2 equal to new my thread 2 we have created. So this is the 2 thread we have created, and those 2 classes we have already declared above, you can see. Okay, and now what I am doing is I am just going to call s dot T1 dot start, okay, and T2 dot start. So control alt down, and I will write here T2 dot start. And if I run this, you can see, okay, you can see the output, because I am not made a this one is just synchronized. Okay, so what I am giving the output is 1 2 3 10 20 30 40 50 and 4 5. How is it working? Let's iterate it. So first is giving 1 2 3 and 10 20 30. So if you create this object is created. Okay, fine. And this object is also created, so that C will initialize with our object, okay, with the help of this constructor. Okay, that is fine. And now what will happen, whenever you call T1 does the start, so if you go to the T1 classes run method, so this is the T1 classes run methods. Okay, so my thread 1, and it will check, okay, run method. So inside the run method we have called c.count. So it will pass the 1 to the count class. So it will go to the count, here it will store 1, and then after loop will be iterate up to 5 times, and here it will print. So what is the I value? I is 1, and we have passed also 1. So 1 multiply 1, it will become 1. Second time iteration I plus plus, so it will become 2. So 2 multiply 1, it will become 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but it's running only 3 times. And then after again, if you again this thread is also started. So this thread is started running, and through that thread we have passed 10. So now it's going here and it's running, multiplying with the 1 multiply 10, so that it's printing 10, 20, 30. Okay, let me check once. So if you see the output, it's printing first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 10, 20, 30, 40. Let me run one more times. So every time you can see different output. It means that is not consistent. This is not a consistent data. So like that, if you got a 5,000 already, other people will go again, he will get 5,000. That is not good way. So whenever you run, it will give the different output, because we are doing work in the multi-threaded environment. So right now we are using the 2 threads. Maybe in the futures we can use 20 threads, 30 threads. So that time we can't understand how the thread will be working and how we can make our data is consistent. That is not possible, right? So for that, the synchronized keyword will came in the picture. Okay, so if I write here, I will make this method as a synchronize, and if multiple threads are try to call, this is the one thread and this is the another thread, so I try to call the same method at the same time, then it will give the access to execute this particular count method one by one, not at the same time. But right now if you see, you are able to run the methods which is count with the both the threads at the same time. That is not good, and it's become a data inconsistent. Okay, so what we can do is we can write here synchronized keyword. Okay, so once you make this method as a synchronize, now if you run your this classes, every time you can see the same output. Every time same output, it will not give the different output because of synchronization. So now what will happen is, once you are called, we have started the 2 threads, that is fine. But once thread is started, once it is execute and finish this method, then only another T2 threads will come and start executing it. Okay, so that's why we are getting the data is what? Synchronous. We are not getting the data asynchronous. If you see here, it's execute one by one thread only. One thread is completed, then only other thread will be entered. only one thread will be completed, then only other thread will be entered. So that is the condition and that is the way to handle the multi-threaded environment with the help of the synchronized keyword. So I hope you understood what is the power of synchronized keyword. Let me show you some more way. So I am going to write here one sleep method. So I will write thread dot sleep and I will give just 1000 millisecond. 1000 millisecond means wow much. So let me throw the declarations. Okay, that's it only. So it's throwing the interrupted exception. So we have throw here, but if you are written in the sleep in the run method, you have to handle it. Okay, here you can throw noise. Okay, fine. Now if you call the count methods, it's have to handle it. Okay, so do one thing. I don't want to throw, I will handle here only. Okay, I will handle here only. Okay, so this is the one thread of sleep 100 times and I have written on catch block, and this is the try and catch only. Okay, nothing else. Okay, and I have removed the synchronized keyword. Let's be careful and see this. So right now I have removed the synchronized keyword and let's see what is the output is printing. So first 1, then 10, then 2, then 20, then 3, then 30, like that. It means like mixing. Both threads are doing work as a mix. First he is doing work, second he is, then he, then he, then he. Like that work is going on. But that is not a good way to implement our logic, okay, in the thread. So because of that we are writing a synchronize, and once you make the synchronize, so it will allow this method. So let me write here, if you use synchronize, then only one by one thread will execute. Okay, so one by one thread only will be executed. It will not execute at the same time multiple thread. That is very important concept you have to understand. Okay, let me run once. So you can see it's printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One thread is completed, then other thread is started 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Let me run one more times. If you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you go without synchronizations, your output will every time change. But if you go with the synchronization, it will give the same output. Maybe some thread will run first and some thread will run second. So you can see the above and below, but the execution will be happen for one thread first time, then only second thread will be executed. Okay, I hope you understood guys. For example, if you want to make some particular block of the code for the synchronized block, for example, this is the synchronized method we have used. Now we can use as a block also. For example, this block of the code you want to make as a synchronized. What you can do? So you can, for example, we are using the method to whole method make a synchronize. But if you want to make some particular code inside the method, okay, what is the static block? I will explain. Static block. Make some line of code like thread safe, SAFE, then use SYNCHRO, synchronize block. Synchronize block. So I hope you understood. Okay, so if you want to make some line of the code only as a synchronize, then you can go with the synchronize block. For example, I want to make this line of the code only synchronize, okay, not this loop. So what I will do is I will write here one synchronize. Okay, so I will write one synchronize, and this is the synchronize block. So I will write here this, okay, and this one I will remove it. In this line only I am making the synchronize. Let me stop it. So this is the block. This particular line which is printing only I have made as a synchronized block. Okay, not whole the methods. Okay, now let me run and see what is the output. Now if you see it's printed 1, 10, 20, 2, 3, 30, 45. So it's mixing it because we have written the what we called println only edge synchronize. Now let me make something like loop also synchronize. So if you make the loop also synchronize, so it means whole code you are trying to make edge synchronize, I think. Okay, so you are trying to make whole code edge synchronize, right? So let me remove this line here and let's go here and let's go here. So this is the method level, so I will write here one more. Okay, so this is the try, this is the catch, and this is the synchronize. I don't want here. Okay, I have used the synchronize here. Now let me format it. Okay, now if you see, this is the synchronize block which is handling the for loop. Okay, so I think now it will behave like a full method only, because full method is nothing but what? This for loop only, so it's executing one by one. Okay, one by one thread, it's giving the permission. Like one thread is enter in the for loop. Okay, so other thread will not enter in the for loop. So like that it will work. So I hope guys you understood what is the use of synchronization and how it will work. Okay, so you also try to implement like that some of the in example and create 2 thread or 3 thread you can create, and you can try to execute those thread while creating an object and start doing those. Okay, so that you can you can see the changes. Okay, what is exactly changes. Thank you so much.